Among the most common sexual sins, pregnancy and abortion, all ugly sins, but in and of themselves, they're pernicious evils.
Travis Wingood's. So I'm caught up for the day, and normally I would be winding down for bed, but it's Friday night and it's the season finale of Bill Maher, and so I'll stay up until after 9 o'clock to watch his YouTube segments that he posts from his show. And then tomorrow morning will be his CNN segment. And so I've got some time. And so since I'm way behind on Jasmine, we'll cover Jasmine comment replies. And so the video I did this morning, I hope women who are listening take this seriously, because the distraction is whatever the news reports, and they don't put the big picture together for you. They don't remind you of the past and what led up to this point. They just talk about the action that happened. So like with the Hamas attacking Israel, they don't say that Israel's defending themselves anymore. They're now saying that everybody's supporting Hamas. You guys are getting played by Islam. They've taken over the world. They've taken over the world. And now they are literally plotting attacks around the world. Just as I warned you about for Utah. Utah is a prime candidate for a terrorist attack by Islam. They're perfectly positioned for this. And I saw it coming, and now I saw on the news that a terrorist plot was plotted by Hamas to do some damage because of the war against the Israelis. And so it's sad to hear the news only talk about Israel fighting, because that's what they're doing now. Hamas really isn't able to do much because Israel is just too massively powerful of a military force. But that wasn't what Hamas was doing. They were purposely triggering the world to turn on Israel, and they've succeeded because Islam has taken over everything. The aid societies run by Islam, the UN run by Islam, and Islamic nations with government leaders who have Islamists in government are turning against Israel. And so even America, the progressives, it's the Islamic Party. The whole squad are Islamist. And so it's a danger. And so with women, this is a separate danger. This is where MAGA has overthrown Roe v. Wade. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, working with the Council for National Policy, got the Supreme Court to overthrow Roe v. Wade. And now as a result, the MAGA states are now presenting more laws to try to overthrow the rest of it. No more abortion pills, contraception. You can't flee the state to get an abortion outside of the state. That's what Texas is now trying to do, because women are fleeing to get an abortion. Fleeing for their lives. And they're making laws to punish those women. This is a major crisis that is going on right now, and it's not being seriously covered by the news, because it's leading to more stuff. They're already involved in this, and Utah is a part of that because of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the whole purpose is to force women to be married and only have babies. remove them from careers, remove them from education, and the church remove them from missions. Prophets have told over and over again, no women, that's men's job. And women retaliate and they go on a mission. Well, the church is going to get the last laugh because they're the patriarchal abusing authority. And so with the destruction that's also coming, you now have the news talking about how it's common for authoritarians during times of war to appeal to women to start having babies. And the purpose of that, the authoritarians claim, is that, oh no, we're losing our people, we need to rebuild society. When actually the authoritarian just wants more soldiers to fight in the war some 20 years from then. They're purposely setting things up for a perpetual war. And so, yes, this is why the church is pushing for this to get their kingdom back so that they can then claim to women, oh no, look what happened, the bomb, the day that shall burn as an oven, abomination of desolation. Oh no, we lost so many good Mormons who are now in the celestial kingdom for their faithfulness. They are martyrs. Okay, women, we now have to practice polygamy and you have to start breeding. We need to rebuild the human race. And boom, they got you. And then they won't let you go from there on. When there's a big enough supply of Mormons, the church dominates the world and they won't stop it. They'll just perpetuate polygamy and child bride polygamous marriages to keep women subjected to patriarchal authority. That's what's coming. So that's a danger. And I've been right so far on everything. And not just for women, for the war. I saw this coming, and here it is. All right, Jasmine, what are you up to? And so I had a Barbara the other day who doesn't know who Janine is. And I should give an intro to explain who she is. She's someone who's studying the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which not a single Mormon will do. And in fact, the missionaries who came knocking on their door did the whole thing of read, ponder, pray, and get the right feeling, and then we'll set a date for your baptism. Well, they didn't do that. They studied. And so she found my channel. And so she asked a whole bunch of questions because she realizes that I have exclusive information about Mormonism that not even critics are talking about. And so, yes, I am the foremost Mormon of Mormonism. I am educated, degreed, published, experienced. And so, yes, I am. I've been in positions that have influenced Mormon lives. And they don't want to believe. It can't be true. It has to be Christian. It has to be Jesus. Yeah, well, you're an illiterate anti-Semite because of that, guys. 1 Nephi, chapter 1, verse 2. That just destroys Christianity, Islam, and Brigham Young's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Learning of the Jews. And so I'm also involving emails from Jasmine, but I will not discuss anything of a personal nature or revealing personal information. It's just if it has to do with a Mormon topic, I'll cover it for this video. So anything else, that's just between them and I. And so there was a comment that or a question or an email she sent 3 days ago on the 12th, talking about a Christian friend named Joy, trying to be funny about Fanny and Joseph Smith. And that's where I introduced her to Oliver Cowdery's defense. And in there, Oliver Cowdery is horrified from the news from David Whitmer that the Danites told David Whitmer that Joseph Smith is the leader of the Danites and that he's murdering Mormons and threatening Mormons to join his Danite uprising. And they had to flee, and so David Whitmer fled. Thomas B. Marsh fled. This was a coup that was going on in the leadership by the Danites with election fraud, the Mormon War, and the coup, trying to decertify the election that was in Daviess County back then. And yes, and it's the exact same pattern of what those third great grandchildren of those Danites are doing right now in America. This is why I'm able to warn you of the dangers, because I know the real church history. None of the critics have caught on to this. And so the Book of Mormon is a warning to us of these king men and the great and abominable church to overthrow America and the Constitution. And so, yeah, Oliver Cowdery was horrified. He changed the name of the church to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Book of Mormon is now another testament of Jesus Christ. And critics have never talked about that. They only talk about his book in the context of, he said there was no plates. That's it. They don't cover the name change. So yes, Joseph Smith was framed by the Danites. They couped his church and murdered him, and stole his documents, created forgeries, altered and edited his documents, and took out the plain and precious parts, like, monogamy, and put in polygamy. And then took sex slaves and regular human trafficked back to this valley here. So, let's see what she's got here. Hello, Travis. You're welcome, Jasmine. Merry Christmas to you. Yep. Yeah, before I did this video, I had found Dr. Phil doing women's fashion. But Travis, Dr. Phil is a psychologist, and you've warned us that psychology is evil and of the devil. Wrong, Dr. Phil. And then she talks about the happiness letter, about the Fanny thing. Was always a thing to me because at first I believed Joseph Smith wrote it. Yeah, no, framed. I watched a couple of podcasts on it. Yeah, no. Critics don't know how to research. They know how to read, but that's about it. And thought it sounded too rigged to be a Joseph Smith thing, yeah. I mean, it's like the forged documents. They're just night and day different from Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. It's just unbelievable that Mormons are following the church on this and throwing Joseph Smith under the bus. It's just sad. But it was also pointed out how some of the church elite were using the info to the letter in their speeches, yeah, to justify their practicing of it. Do you know of any other source material that will help me understand the DNC originals and forged? I sent you the link to the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants that you didn't have on your cloud thing. And so that's what you need to do, is you need to find, you've already got the 1833 Book of Commandments. Now you have the link to the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants, which you already knew was section 101 for monogamy. And so that's how you identify the forgeries. As you go through the current Doctrine and Covenants, as you go and compare that with Joseph Smith's original works and with the Book of Mormon, you can then know that those are the Danite forgeries. That's the easiest way to do it. Before the Joseph Smith papers, I had to do it a different approach to try to get the answers. And so with the Joseph Smith papers, that was just, we've now established fact. And so I guess I would encourage you to identify who's involved with the Danites, so that when you do your research and you come across that Danite name, you know that you got to be skeptical of what's being said. Benjamin Franklin Johnson, for example. You've got to be very careful about him. He betrayed Joseph when he moved to Adam-on-Diamond and claimed that he didn't deny the church. Well, he did. He became a Danite and was involved in that Mormon war and election fraud that led to the assassination of Joseph. And so I guess it's just a matter of, I could give you the cheat sheet, 2 Nephi 26, talking about priestcraft, naughty no-no, and then section 119, Brigham Young's forged document of tithing, which is priestcraft. Section 115 for the name of the church. That I'd take you to the Joseph Smith papers with the 1838 history, as Joseph Smith had published that in 1842 in the Times and Seasons, and it didn't have Jesus Christ in the name. And so then when you understand Learning of the Jews, you realize why the name of Joseph's church was never Jesus. And so then you realize that not only is that section 115 a forged document of the Danites, but also you see in the Joseph Smith papers a Danite, Willard Richards, who inserted Jesus Christ in the name of the church. And the church won't make that correction. The current church put out the Joseph Smith papers and refuses to make the change in the scriptures. They will not do it. The website says it's the authoritative source for all things Joseph Smith, but they won't make the change. The Book of Mormon. It's the Book of Mormon next year. But they won't make the changes to call the Learning of the Jews. They're still calling it Christian. They're still saying it's a literal history account of Jesus Christ coming to Central America. That was the RLDS Church's belief. Joseph was leading people to believe it was there in Western New York because of the Solomon Spaulding book that he had published, or didn't get published, and Sidney Rigdon got a hold of it and used it because he didn't think anybody would know about it. But that's how the Book of Mormon came to be, is 9/11/1826 in Canandaigua, New York. And that whole scandal that Joseph Smith Sr. was the one who saved America during that time. Nobody knows. And so, you already know about Section 132, Section 101 in the 1835 edition. And so it's a forged document. So for Willard Richards, for example, he's a known Danite now. He's the one that was left behind in Carthage jail with Joseph and Heber, along with John Taylor. Who survived? John Taylor and Willard Richards. Who died? Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram. And so when you do a forensic investigation of the crime scene, yeah, that's why I do my tribute every year to Joseph Smith, involving a retelling in a different presentation of the assassination of Joseph Smith by the Danites. Going over the forensic evidence for you guys. And then section 19 is tithing, 15, 16. Yeah. In the Benjamin Franklin Johnson story of moving to Adam-on-Diamond and being arrested and forced to deny Joseph in the Book of Mormon, and then he said he never did, but he became a Danite. He did. Then you have Newell K. Whitney, section 117. Also a forged document, but this is kind of important to have. These forged documents need to have their separate book made of them, because they reveal their plot and how they were overthrowing Joseph Smith. 290 and 291, remember? That's why you use it as a prop. The overthrow of America. Adam-on-Diamond. And so, section 119, yeah, Noel K. Whitney. Section 116 is about Adam-on-Diamond. But in the Joseph Smith papers, it's fresh ink in a book that was used and faded. Obviously, a forgery put into the older book, similar to the ledger that the church rushed to have pushed out and didn't bother to type the information out on the Joseph Smith papers. You had to go page by page of the pictures of the book to see that their ledger was the forgery. It was the Danites who were paying the extortion payments to Brigham Young to overthrow the church and to get the kingdom after murdering Joseph. The Judas price, and that's how Brigham and Heber were able to pay the Judas price to the Warsaw Lodge members to be the mob that came to the Carthage jail. But Brigham Young had Willard Richards and John Taylor as backups to make sure it happened. And so that's now confirmed how Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball paid them for it. And so you have Noel K. Whitney in verse 11. This is a Danite document by forging, I believe this is Sidney Rigdon's son-in-law, Nancy Rigdon, who also is framed in one of the other documents that you know about, Jasmine. Her husband is also falsely accused of writing some of these 1838 forgeries. And so knowing who he is helps you understand that he's being framed by the Danites. A Danite is writing as if he's him rather than Willard Richards, for example. And so they say in verse 11, "Let my servant Newell K. Whitney be ashamed of the Nicolaitan band and of all their secret abominations." That's the Danites. Nicolaitan is used here because you go to the footnote 11a, Revelation 2:6. That's where the Nicolaitan band are. And so there's Adam-on-Diamond that's involved there. Newell K. Whitney's home was right next door to what the Danites named Adam-on-Diamond, Spring Hill, Missouri. And so now you see what they were doing here. Dreaming of a white Christmas. Everybody's having fun but me. Color of the Night, that's the theme song in the description below. And YouTube does not have that clip. I had to make it myself. But Color of the Night. Lauren Christie. Beautiful song. Bruce Willis movie. So yeah, I hope that helps you out. You've already got enough to work with. The original 1830 Book of Mormon, the 1833 Book of Commandments, 1835 Doctrine and Covenants, and then you've got the current one, current Doctrine and Covenants. And that will help you. And use it with the Joseph Smith papers to find section 101, just like you did for the others that I mentioned. And then you can get a better idea of the bigger picture that's going on. And there's others in the Joseph Smith papers. Section 107 is when Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball are now in the Quorum of the 12, and the 70 for the Quorum of the 12 missionaries are also getting licensed. That's why Joseph Smith is talking to just those two quorums specifically. He gave them licenses. Joseph Smith Papers has all their licenses of everyone who was involved in that meeting. And it's a huge, long list. And sure enough, there's Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball and the right name of the Church of the Latter-day Saints. And yet, Brigham Young had his license to go to Europe, to England. And it's different. There's a different signature. And there's a different name of the church. It's a forgery. And so there is no Joseph Smith license to Brigham Young to go to Europe. We have instead the forged document, the forged license. And then there's more, as I've been doing the videos as I find them. You know, Willard Richards accusing Joseph Smith of marrying or being sealed to underage girls when it was him in 1846 in the Nauvoo Temple in January before it was dedicated, etc., etc., etc. So, I don't know why it's so fascinating to me, but it is. It's fascinating to me. It literally is a murder mystery. It literally is a secret spy James Bond episode. Literally. I mean, this is just, it's got murder, it's got intrigue, it's got threats to America. It's a coup America, and it's got war and murders and rapes and burning of people and their property and secret conspiracy and trying to create a coded Book of Mormon to try to warn the people in the future of this threat that is now threatening them. And it's just incredibly awesome. Literally should be made into a movie, but the church does the faith-promoting literal history version. You watch the video. I watch all your videos, all my videos. You're a TWG junkie. Should I bring that up? I'll write you that experience of mine when I was married. Okay. Alrighty. And 8 o'clock, his show is now starting. Okay. And so I sent some basic study links to help Jasmine and James learn Jewish Kabbalah. And so she's replying, "Hello, Travis. Yeah, we got all of those bookmarked in our study folder. It's getting pretty big now." Well, I'll probably go over those when I do the Book of Mormon, correcting the 2024 Come Follow Me Book of Mormon lessons. It's Book of Mormon next year. There are some bombshells you need to know about because, like I said, it is a warning for us in our day. Those third great grandchildren are that threat to America, and it's already happened. So now I get to go over the Book of Mormon and expose them all. And it's already too late to stop them because they already did it. All right, so back to YouTube. New LDS apostle takes a sick day and Oaks covenants death to Jews. Hello, Travis. We are back. We had a bad weekend. Did you get my email? Yes. I haven't seen the video clip. You sent me a video clip. I'm sure there's nothing that should be kept from the audience, but I keep forgetting to watch that. I downloaded it and I haven't watched it yet. Watch video. I need to check to see if you've got anything else up on your channel too. Probably not because of the deer attack. Those deers. They got all those doe eyes. They're all cute and furry. Oh, yep, you do have some new stuff. Yep. 4 hours ago, too. Where did I leave off? Dear God, way down there? Ooh, Rob Zombie's Dead Girls for TikTok. Nice. And Kool-Aid. Nine videos behind. Okay. All right. We sent you a thank you video of, yeah, that's what I need to watch. We got trapped in Knoxville, Tennessee with no internet for 2 days because of the killer doe. Doe, a deer, a dead female deer. Ray, a drop of acid rain. Me, a name I call myself. Are you looking at our computers? Because there is a slideshow coming up that has a remix of the Disturbed song we were actually working on Saturday of last week. I don't see Disturbed song. It was a video about the sickness, taking a sick day. Perfect song. But I don't see a new one with Disturbed's sickness. Travis, I want you to understand this. Uh-oh, the talk. You have helped us and helped me especially. You can never be ghosted by us. I got ghosted by other people throughout my life. Dear God. Robin has ghosted me. Because we value your teaching and your YouTube friendship. It's now an email friendship. We don't care what others think. What are they thinking? They're not living our lives, and they should not affect Is that the right one, or is it effect? Yours? Well, there's this thing called Google search, and they even have this. Effect or effect. Affect, with an A, is commonly used as a verb, meaning to influence or produce change. Effect, with the E, is primarily used as a noun, representing the result or consequences of faith. Your faith has an affect, producing an effect. Faith without works is dead. Oh, you did 2 videos on the happiness letter. Oh, there's the disturbed. Anna's somewhat disturbed sideshow sickness. There we go. Cool. So it's number 4 in the stuff that I'm behind on. Yours. The black is my favorite color on you, and the dark blue too. What did you do with my pictures? Still have yet to see what you're doing with my pictures. Or did you just want to see them? Alrighty. And James was supposed to be taking a new photo shoot of you. Did that get postponed because of the deer attack? And on the same video, hello Travis, it's me again. I read that whole thing and I'm confused. Under the role of women under the Latter-day Saints part, it says, motherhood is a holy calling to nurture God's children. Yeah, the family proclamation. Is that what you're talking about? I don't remember which video intro it was, but didn't one of those Rachel leaders say that pregnancy was a sin? Yeah, Benson, I did the clip. And don't you have to become pregnant to be a mother? Yeah. So which is it? It was an editing error. They didn't edit it. See, Benson, when he became the president of the church in 1986 of April Conference, right after Metallica's Master of Puppets came out on March 3rd, I became a priest in the Aaronic priesthood either the day before my birthday or the weekend after my birthday. It depends on whether the bishop was concerned about whether or not it had to be on the day or after. And I think I sort of recall them saying it's just one day, let's just do it. And so I think it was on the 16th, on the Sunday there. And so then Benson becomes the new president of the church, as we all sustain him with a loyalty oath, with a penalty of death for disloyalty that nobody seems to know about. And he talks in the priesthood session of General Conference on Saturday evening. That has been the staple forever, to have a special meeting just for the men. But those ordained women were trying to sneak in to listen. And now, the women in the church, they all want to hear what the prophets have to say. Even if it is to the men. They want to hear them talk about, don't masturbate. Amen to your priesthood. And stuff like that. Women in the church want to hear those things. And so instead, it's been a tradition in the church for generations that the women of a family get together and they have their party at home while the men of the family go to the stake centers, because this is outside of Utah. And then I'm sure similar things was done here in Utah before they had the televised versions. Although I think televised has been here for a long time, but I think the priesthood session was never televised until most recently with the internet. But regardless. And so after the priesthood session, the fathers and their sons would go out for ice cream or whatever. That's usually been the tradition with Dad, and my brother and I. And others got involved in something similar to that. And so he's talking to us, saying that we were held in reserve, not fence-sitters. We were the righteous ones in the premortal council in heaven, and held in reserve for all this time to come to earth right now as 16-year-old boys. And it's technically 12 to 18 is the age group. And so 68 to 74, I believe, is the time frame that he was talking to. And saying that we are the royal army of the Lord for the latter days. He's talking to us. And so, yes, it's us. And sure enough, he knows this was the latter days. They were plotting this time frame for the coup of America to get their kingdom back. They know this is their plot. They know the dates of when they were going to set this up. And Mormons, they don't study, so they don't know. And so, yeah, he's quoting from The Miracle of Forgiveness, a book written by Spencer W. Kimball. And because of that talk and conference, I was then forced to read it before going on my mission. When I went into the bishop to apply for the mission, I was told that I needed to read Miracle of Forgiveness. We all are now, because he's the president of the church and he made it official doctrine at the pulpit of conference. And yet Spencer W. Kimball, in that book, for what he was talking about, that pregnancy is a pernicious evil and a sin, he was quoting from Apostle Boyd K. Packer, who would go on to become the president of the Quorum of the 12, but then died. He had polio, and so in his final years he was wheelchair bound when he would go up to the pulpit of conference. And so you have Boyd K. Packer, who gives his own doctrine at the pulpit of conference millennia ago. Spencer W. Kimball, as the president of the church, writes a book, Miracle of Forgiveness, and resurrects it, puts it in his book, so that all boys can feel guilty. Because there's a whole long list of sins that you have to use a dictionary for. Don't do it, it's a trap. And as a result, it's now canon in the church. But yeah, nobody edited it. And that's just as it is. I give it to you. So we'll put that clip in there for you too. Benson, pregnancy. Just one of those things that they weren't thinking. They needed to put in more words to explain that it's not just pregnancy in general. Hilarious. So, yeah. Good times. And in LDS Church fires Garna. Fired! But yeah, it's awesome. I now see her every day now on KSL. YouTube has clips of her every day now. It's awesome. Today, yeah, she was the cars. Yeah, that's what it was. See, in Utah, there used to be people who steal cars and then take them to a chop shop to be remodeled, reworked, and resold with new license plates and all that stuff, fake license plates, to make quick cash. But the police force here in Utah had successfully shut down the chop shops in Utah. I did hear one story last month, I think, in which there was a chop shop that had started up again. But again, they got caught and shut down. And so what the gangs were doing instead, as I noticed when I was the neighborhood watch president in West Valley, as I would do my patrols by running every morning, was that they would steal a person's vehicle, drive it to another neighborhood, and abandon it. They'd have another guy that would pick them up. And so, yeah, they would wipe it down so that no evidence would remain, steal any valuables that was left inside, and take those to a pawn shop rather than take a car to a chop shop. And so that's what the news was explaining without knowing what they were explaining. And Garna was the one reporting on this. She was saying that a person's car had been stolen. It's, the Christmas season. And so she's saying that it was found in another neighborhood. It's a Christmas miracle. No, that's just how it's done, Garna. But, and so, yes, you got to be careful this season because mail deliverers, Amazon, FedEx, postmen are being attacked. And their vehicles robbed. That was the big thing in the news that I heard not too many weeks ago. And then, the thefts, that's what they do. During the week, they will patrol the neighborhood between 2 and 4 a.m. to search out for what to target for the weekend. Typically on Sunday morning, because most people are sleeping because they're going to go to church that Sunday. They know how to work the system here in Utah. Because, early on Friday morning, people are now coming home from the bar or from a concert or event or whatever. And so Saturday morning is not an ideal time. And then during the weekday, there were several occasions when they would stalk our neighborhood. And that was a different system than the carjacking one. That'd take me off course for this video. But this is what people in Utah need to be aware of now. Because now that we got Christmas coming up, you're going to have these thieves, gangs, patrolling the neighborhoods looking for easy targets for Sunday morning. Whether it But when they're doing their patrols, if they do see something on the front yard or if you left your garage door open, they'll do a quick snatch and grab because they've got the vehicle there and they've got the driver that can speed off. So be aware. That's what happens here in Utah. All right, so Jasmine is saying, so the sad part is the front passenger side of the car is smashed. So the deer was after you, or were you the driver, Jasmine? And looks about like $1,500 repair. Okay, wow. So that's the cost of one tire. However, Bambi, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right at the beginning, hilarious, got up and ran back into the woods. Ah, no deer jerky? Oh, man. And so she says, I am an animal lover. We have 4 dogs, 1 cat, 2 mice. All are female. Mass hysteria. Yeah, I love animals too, but the dander, even on me, will kill me. That's why I'm having trouble breathing. It's because I'm allergic to myself. Plus, there's the... But, yeah, and so even though birds are my favorite animal, dogs are like right close by, being my favorite animal. And then it would be fish that would be third, and then cats. Mice, yeah, they're cute. All baby animals are cute. That's just the way I am. And they're all female. Oh, lesbians. So they won't breed. Poor James is the only male in the house. Oh, guess what I found out? The name Jasmine is of Persian origin. Yeah, you didn't catch that from Aladdin? Yep. Yeah, I already knew about Jasmine. But it's good that you finally knew. You are a gift from God. That is for certain. Derived from the Persian word yasmin, referring to the plant, meaning fragrant flower, being a gift. I wish I had had better wrapping paper. Should we get Garna as a commenting subscriber? Well, that would be great if she comments. But I'm pretty sure I'm not of her high standards and values, as she's running out of time for breeding. As she's been fired by the church. But all that hair. I am following her on Instagram. Really? And I'm sure she would talk to you. Yeah, but did you not listen to this video? I think I put it in this video. If I were to confront her, she were to confront me, I'd be like, and then she would go, you're weird, I'm leaving. And then, while you were sleeping, Sandra Bullock, while she's in the booth, he finally comes to her booth and says hi. She does that. And then he's gone. And then she goes, hi, I love you, marry me. And then he falls, gets pushed off onto the train tracks, and she saves his life, and chaos and pandemonium ensues. No need to be timid and afraid. No, that's just my nature. I'm born that way. So quit that. Can you please translate what you would say to her presence? I'll put that Sandra Bullock line in the description below. While you were sleeping. Meow. Milwaukee. I like her as an actress. She is hilarious. All right, so one more, and it's about the Doctrine and Covenants. The gifts of the true Mormon prophets here in Revelator. Can we sneak it in? It's 8:30. We still have 45 minutes, which would be the time to do this video. Wow, you're going deep here. Okay, we'll have to wait on this one. Alrighty.